The voice of sharing, Durian ASEAN.
Hey, welcome back. This is Arlene and you're listening to Durian ASEAN, the voice of discovery and sharing. Today in Blast from the Grassroots, we have a guest who is a passionate cyclist, I guess, because he's going to talk about Cycling Kuala Lumpur Bicycle Map Project. He's basically the project coordinator. Welcome, Jeffrey Lim.
Hi, thank you.
Wow. So, did you cycle all the way to our office, by the way?
Yes, I did. But fortunately, just nearby. I'm from Damansara.
Okay.
Yeah, so nearby, yes.
So, is it? Do you take a longer time cycling all the way to our studio, or is it longer? Do you think by riding a motorbike or car?
Well, yeah. During rush hour by bicycle, you can be faster. Within a radius of 5 kilometers, you actually can reach your destination faster than a car. So from Damansara to here, I took the back roads, came in through the back, Taman Mega, Taman Mayang, and then I got here in no time, and I think in 5 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is very fast.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way.
Yes.
By the way, you have this map project that you are doing,
That's
and
right.
it's not just for the area of PJ, but I guess the whole Klang Valley.
No,
Or
not
it's
that
just
big.
in KL.
Yeah, it's actually just in KL first. That was the
Okay.
first pilot project. When I did this map, I was thinking, I had to solve some problems, some traffic problems. So I was thinking, where would the best place be? It would actually be in Selangor, in PJ, because that's where the density is. You would solve more problems there. But being the first cycling KL, I had to think about the most impact. So that's why I chose the capital city, Kuala Lumpur first.
So not PJ first.
Well, capital city first. So then it had a it had importance,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what are the areas that you cover in your map project?
It's about 110 square kilometers, and then so we cover all the key roads to enter KL. So you're talking about the northern entry, eastern entry, western entry. So those are all the key roads that come into KL, and also within KL as well. So it's a network of cycling routes, We've been doing it for 2 years now.
2 years already.
Yeah.
But what inspired you to start this project? Is it because of the congestion, the haze, or the pollution? Or is it because you just want people to adopt a more healthier lifestyle, which is cycling?
Wow, that's
There's a lot of...
the project's very heavy. I think in the beginning it was very simple. I just wanted to make a map, and then I love maps. I used to design maps, and then I wanted to put something. I wanted to do something. So the map was just a design project, and then it became a cycling project, and then it became a social project, and then everything just filled up on it, And then,
So, talking about the map, we can actually access the map, or should we go to you to request for the map or something?
Yes, right. At the moment, it's still not released publicly. So we have done a test print run. That was what we have now, and then you can find it online as well, the JPEG online. But eventually, it'll be a printed map. And we're going to distribute it in KL.
Would it be something with a GPS as well? Like you can...
A GPS. Well, you probably need...
Maybe I'm a bit futuristic on that.
Yeah. I mean, of course, the end result might be a digital version of it. So some app that's interactive. Of course, but we need serious funding for that and development, because to make an app is not that easy. It's not that hard either, but you need serious funding. You need a lot of team. You need a lot of people. So I did what I could. I designed a map. I'm a graphic designer. I'm a print designer. So I designed a map first, got all the information in. That was most important. And also sell the idea. I think that was important because a lot of people will be like, oh, you can't cycle in KL, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I had to break that mindset first. So that fear, overcome that fear of cycling, overcome that fear of just being out on the road.
Actually, I want to ask exactly the questions that
Yes.
related to the fear of
Yes.
why cycling. Because, Malaysia is... I mean, not Malaysia, but let's just focus on Kuala Lumpur alone. It's not a bicycle-friendly area. So how do you make use of, all the different roads and, streets, and just make sure, just to provide this map for cyclists?
Okay, well, let's go back a bit in history. Well, before cars, before motorbikes, they were bicycles. So our grandfather had a bicycle, and everyone went around by bicycle or public transportation. So the roads, if you look at older parts of the city or older towns, people still cycle, you know. So that is part of our culture. We do cycle, and it's still around. So our city is somehow built around that. Yeah, it's just that cars and motorbikes.
So it's just a way to step back and look, what used to, move us around.
Yes. So it's actually it's the perfect machine, you know. So it's something that we can use without actually polluting. So if you say it's the total solution, no, it's not a total solution. You know, it's just one aspect.
But how do you? I mean, for especially for a person like me, like safety is number one. Like how do you ensure safety while riding in the middle of, a car-filled roads in Kuala Lumpur?
Ah, yes. Okay. Well, crime and security and safety. Okay, yeah. There's a certain condition you have to condition yourself to, right? Traffic conditions in KL is very different from Europe, very different from Australia. But Asia, we are very different. So you have to look in ASEAN, in Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia. So condition yourself to traffic systems and then understand where's the safety zone of the road. Of course, we are a minority now. Pedestrians and cyclists are minorities on roads. So there's a natural hierarchy. So that has to somehow change. But it's not that difficult. It's not that dangerous. So there are routes that are busier marked on the map, and then there are routes that are quieter and safer. So you choose which one is suitable for yourself.
So within these 2 years of what you're doing, can you share with us more, like, what were the challenges in mapping the bicycle routes, and maybe you already created a movement or something? Yeah.
Wow, challenges. Okay, well, it's 2 years of work, so it's a lot of work. I made a map from scratch. So I was looking for maps to use. I used to print out Google Maps and then just mark them out. But I found that they were inaccurate. There were no maps that were accurate. I even went to the National Mapping Directorate in Malaysia, bought official maps, and they were backdated, so they were not accurate either. And I bought some commercial maps, and they were not updated either, inaccurate. So I had to design my own map, a specific map, road map for cycling. So that took me about 6 months in my free time to design that. That's right up here. And then, start the campaign. Start telling people about the project, what it's about, and then start from there. So it's a lot of work. I think the challenge is it's a lot of work. So if I had a bigger team, we could have finished it faster. But I'm self-funding it myself. So it's my free time, my pet project. Yeah.
So I'm opening the map itself. It's very huge.
Yes.
And is it the blue color? Is the color of the?
There's two colors, two main colors: the blue and the yellow. So the blue ones are on main roads, so a bit more busier, and then yellow ones on quieter roads. Yes.
So do you have a team behind this, or was it you alone mapping this?
Yeah. So in the beginning it was just me. I designed the map, so I coordinate the entire project. Then we started calling for volunteers. So I opened up a studio every week since December 2012, every week. And then we had a meeting every weekend, open up a studio to the public, and then anyone who was interested to come, I give them a base map, which is an empty map of KL. And then they start tracing down the routes that they will cycle, where they usually cycle. So it's actually accumulation of information of where people cycle. And then from there, we had a survey. We went to every single part of KL throughout, I think, a 6-month period. Fill up all the empty areas and then see what the safety issues we have there, and then put the map together. So we went through like maybe 4 rounds of that, and then we came up with this map. Yeah.
It's very informational because I can see here you have different routes explaining the nature of the routes itself. You have the main routes, you have the the more the caution, the routes with
yes.
that has fast moving traffic.
That's right.
And you have alternative routes.
Right.
I don't know what's that actually.
Yeah, well, it's just the quieter ones, low to medium traffic.
And you have recreational one, motorcycling lane, pedestrian,
those
connectors,
are,
crossing. It's very
it's
informational.
It's quite complex. It's quite it's quite complete.
I could definitely see this in a GPS. If I'm on my mobile, I just want to cycle from here to all the way to maybe from Taman Mega all the way to
Taman Tun.
Taman Tun, for example.
It's possible.
Yeah. I can just, if you have it in a GPS version,
Right,
it will
right.
be even much more easier because I think it's very well informed. I mean, you even have like all the different routes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just giving suggestions.
Thanks. Great. That's great.
So, what else that you can share with us in terms of the project itself? Like, you see, there will be a launch party, isn't it?
Yes. Well, I call it the big bicycle party. And now we have a date down. It's going to be August 10th. We just decided. So that's when we plan to launch the map. Well, start distributing the map. That is when we're going to start doing that. So, we've been delaying it because we had a few delays here and there. So it's been almost half a year in delays.
So what can we expect? Is it like we need to bring our own bicycle or
That'd
something?
be great. I mean, I don't, of course, I don't force people to cycle, but I just give them a map and a guide, so maybe they know how to cycle, where to cycle. So it's going to be, you can get the map for free. So that's what we plan to do, distribute the map for free, and also maybe have a program later, and then people could cycle with us into town, and then we show them all the various routes, how to use the map, and so on and so forth.
I haven't been cycling since probably when I was a teenager.
Yes.
Then you started university and work,
Yes.
and then the moment you realize you already bought a car.
Yeah. Well, that's just a natural progression.
Yeah, but I mean, why cycling? Why do you think cycling is the way to go in terms of the future of Kuala Lumpur's traffic? It should be like just cyclists, cycling around, or
it's just not cycling. Of course, it's to solve.
or motorists.
Yeah, to solve the traffic problems, you can't just depend on cycle. You have to also depend on the public transportation system, and you have to have good infrastructure.
Is that
good
also
plan.
you're working for as well, besides the bicycle?
Well, not really. I mean, that's of course a huge problem. You have to look at it from many different levels. This is just a grassroots, bottom-up approach. You have to look at it from top-down as well. Policy making, how you can help by cycling. Cycling is just one form of it. So this is my bit to help KL. Yeah, jumpstart.
Yeah, I
the
can
capital.
see that.
Yes.
And I mean, when I was in Vietnam, which is interesting as well, because it's like virtually everywhere is like just motorists, motorcycles, people just riding motorcycle everywhere.
That's
And I
right.
thought it was a good way, to reduce the traffic and still have people, going from one place to another place in a shortest time that they can do. So, I think cycling is very good. But what about the weather? Is how if I think a lot of Malaysians they call it putri lilin in Malay, but in English probably would be those who are so scared to have their skin burn. What would you say to them to encourage them to cycle?
Well, sun is good. I would say that. I love the heat, and we are actually quite lucky. We're in paradise. We have it can be hot at certain hours, so don't cycle during the hours. Plan your trip around it, and then plan your routes as well. Certain routes have a lot of big trees and very shady. So and it's also the zen of cycling. I call this the zen of cycling, which is you cycle a certain speed, you use a certain amount of energy, and then the wind cools your body enough that you don't sweat. So you keep maintaining a speed of 10 to 15 kilometers per hour, and you find that actually you don't sweat.
That's a very good advice.
Thank you.
But what about bicycle itself? Like, I mean, for those who never cycled before, like, what would you advise them?
Wow, never cycled before.
Oh, yeah.
What would I advise them? Well, maybe try to learn how to cycle. Before you start cycling on the road, you have to have certain dexterity or certain control over the bike. Because, of course, it's a machine. You have to get used to how to cycle. So before you actually can start cycle on the road, so...
Okay. Let's talk about the map.
Okay.
What was the challenge that you faced when you were, drawing the map? I mean, it seems like there's just a lot of colors and a lot of different areas with different, sign of where is where. So, are there any challenges that you faced when you did a map?
Designing, okay. So there's so many arms for this project. Designing was one of them. So now we're going to talk about the design. Okay, design, I had to do a lot of studies. I had to look at a lot of maps. I had to think about the scale. I had to think about format because it's going to be printed. And then I had to think about colors. So there's so many aspects that you have to think about. So thank God I was a designer. I'm a specific type of designer, a corporate identity designer. So I do a lot of wayfinding signage. I think a lot about traffic. I design maps. So I had all that background. So, and I was a print designer, so it helped a lot. So that was what was important for me. I think that was what made this project possible because I had that background. And then apart from that, it's just designing. You have to think about how you can activate the community and how to sell the idea that you could cycle. Ooh. So, well, start with one person. That was it. I used to cycle. I started cycling again as an adult when I was in Singapore. I was working in Little India, and then there were tons of people cycling on the roads.
Yeah, they have a very good pedestrian walkway, isn't it?
Well,
in
they don't
Singapore.
cycle on the pedestrian. They don't cycle on the pedestrian. I'm talking about this old community.
Okay.
So Little India, you still had an old community that cycle around. So you're talking about the heritage or cultural.
Is it like a movement within that?
No, it's not a movement. It's just the way it is.
I see.
Yeah. So if you just go outside of KL, you go to any kampong, you see people cycling. It's just a way of life. So it's just that when you come to the city and you forget that you want a car, it's like, wow, I want the Malaysian dream. So yeah, I saw a lot of that, and I said, I want to cycle again. It's a worldwide movement. I've been to China. I cycle in China. I cycle in Australia. I cycle in Cambodia. I cycle in London. So many different situations, developed countries, undeveloped countries, and you see that it's possible. Why is it not possible here in KL?
But did you, from one person, after 2 years, is there a movement behind this, more than just you?
Of course, it's not just me. I mean, it's huge. It's a worldwide movement. Of course, the cycling revolution came with the manufacturing of folding bikes and stuff, so that helped the cycling scene a lot. Of course, it's also environmental as well. Yeah, so the picture of the bike is everywhere. People want to be seen with a bike because it projects a positive image. But it's so much more than that, Of course, it's not just about the bicycle, it's also about the lifestyle.
But what about the government? Is there any government support? Not just to your project, but I guess to the idea of a more sustainable, environmental friendly life.
So you start to see that the city councils are being much more activated. Also, the federal government as well coming out with guidelines for green city living.
Did you engage with the government? I mean, the local government, at least in KL.
Yes, we're starting to.
So starting to.
That's great. One of the project's objective is to give the government the report of this map. So, but they jump-started it and started approaches, and then we start to work together. So right after this, I'm going to go meet DBKL this afternoon, and then we're going to talk about some cycling lanes in KL. So this is about our 5th meeting already.
I see.
Yeah.
So what is the response from the government side in terms of cycling? Do they want to restructure KL pedestrian routes or something like that? I'm just.
They have their own plan. Of course, they have plans. KL City 2020. So cycling was not really in their plan, but because now it's becoming a really hot issue, so they're starting to look into it, but only from the city council level. From federal level, top down, it's still not in their agenda. They have an agenda about green city living, but then the minor details they haven't probably thought of detail. We still have a lot of fundamental issues, traffic issues, housing issues. So let alone about cycling, transportation, public transportation. So I think still some way to go, but we're starting to take steps. Yes.
So on your final message on why people should cycle, or just whatever that you want to say about this mapping project that you're doing.
It's a fun activity. You start to cycle, you start to discover the city. That's why when I designed a map, I left a lot of things out. So
What did you discover about the city?
Oh my God, so much stuff. I thought I knew the city, but when I did the map, oh my God.
There's a lot of small lanes and,
Well, no, you find communities, you find hidden communities, you find hidden historical facts about KL, and you find out a lot of things about KL. And
Can you share with maybe one example of what did you find out about, the hidden gems in KL?
Oh, wow. Where do I start? Well, you find out about the history of KL. KL is a tin mining town, Raja Abdullah is actually the founder of KL. He came up with 40 miners, came up on Sungai Klang all the way to Ulu Klang, and then started mining, and that's how he founded KL. And then another thing about Ampang is derived from the word dam. Ampangan. So if you go to Ampang, actually there are a lot of dams in Ampang. There's one dam still hidden up there, built in 1894. So yeah,
hidden up there in
the hills.
Oh.
So there's actually a reservoir up there, and you needed water to mine. So that's why all the townships in KL were all tin mining towns. Pudu, Cheras, Ampang.
Is there any remnants of tin mining activities?
Well, you have the towns. Tin mining activities, you have all the pools. Yeah, so you have Ampang Hile, you have a tin mining pool there.
You have the Titiwangsa.
Titiwangsa ponds. Yeah, you have all these ponds. Even Puchong, all the way down to Puchong also, you have all this tin mining. So we have tin mining, rubber estates. You still have some rubber estates around. So yeah, we found Lokyu's tomb again. He's buried somewhere in Setiawangsa. And his area, that used to be his rubber estate. It used to be his kampung there, Kampung Lokyu as well, which is actually demolished and evicted. And then, we find
you always hear the Jalan Lokyu, but you don't know the man behind the Jalan Lokyu.
Oh, Jalan Lokyu is way up north. He's up north there, and then he has a rubber estate. So you learn a lot of history about KL. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think I'm going to have a hand on this when you do another reprint, I guess. I don't know, we have only one copy or...
right now, this is a test print. When we do our first print run, which is sometime in July, we're going to 10,000 maps for the first print run. So we plan to print about 40,000 maps. So we're working together with a printer right now, Art Printing's work, and they are sponsoring our first print run. So we're really happy for that, coming on board.
Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you.